What is going on, everybody? Super Yankee for Life here once again, bringing you guys NFL Picks Week 11. Just gonna go through these real quick. Starting with the 1 o'clock games. Arizona at Atlanta. Atlanta coming off a loss, their first loss of the year to New Orleans last week. Arizona coming off, I guess, a bye. Although really they've lost like 5 straight and haven't won since like September or something like that. They've just completely falling off the radar as far as contention for a playoff spot. Really like Atlanta to bounce back in this game. Expect Matt Ryan to have a huge game, as well as Michael Turner and Roddy White and those guys. So yeah, Green Bay at Detroit. Green Bay is coming off, I'm pretty sure they're coming off either a bye or a big win last week. Detroit's coming off, I believe, a loss to Minnesota. Adrian Peterson just ran roughshod on them, although he's been doing that all year so far. Green Bay, I expect them to win this game. I would say pretty comfortably, because I'm just not seeing that defensive intensity that I saw out of Detroit last year, and they're giving up points and yards and bunches, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have himself a good day, in my personal opinion. Cincinnati at Kansas City. Cincinnati's one of those teams that has just been struggling over the past month. Kansas City, well, they're just trying to rebuild for the future, it looks like. Cincinnati, I expect them to rebound a little bit, get a much-needed win. It is pretty surprising how bad Cincinnati has been all year. Just being able to win the close games seems to be the problem for Cincinnati, and I think turnovers, I believe, has killed them as well. Not sure what their turnover ratio is. If it's good or bad. I'll have to check that. But yeah, I expect Cincinnati to beat Kansas City and get some momentum going, hopefully. The Jets at the Rams. Quite frankly, I really could not care. I couldn't care less. I could care less about this game, because these are two teams that are absolutely horrible and will probably have a top 5 pick in the NFL draft when it's all said and done, when the season's over. Jets coming off an embarrassing loss to Seattle. St. Louis coming off a tie to San Francisco. Quite frankly, if anyone watched that game, if you're in the San Francisco and St. Louis markets watching that game, I feel sorry for you, because that game was horrible to watch, even though only got to see like late fourth quarter overtime, stuff like that. That was just brutal to watch. I guess I'll go with St. Louis on this one, because the Jets are just horrible on all phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. St. Louis, at least, I think, has a decent enough quarterback. I think Sam Bradford is better than Mark Sanchez, and Bradford will have a nice game against the Jets. Cleveland at Dallas. Cleveland coming off I keep forgetting which teams came off byes, which teams came off games. Dallas coming off to win a very all-around victory over Philadelphia last week. Offense, Romo didn't turn the football over. Defense had some really impressive plays, including an interception return for a touchdown and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And then special teams, punt return for a touchdown. Versus just a good all-around win for Dallas last week. I expect Dallas to win this game by at least double digits. I expect Cleveland to play them hard. I mean, Cleveland has been playing everyone hard all year. Like I said, they're a young team that needs to learn how to win first. Needs to learn from experiences, so that way, by this time next year, they could be, 6-2 or 6-3 and be right there for a playoff spot in the AFC next year. So yeah, I have Dallas win that one. Philadelphia at Washington. Quite frankly, one team with high expectations going south, and while another team who, like Washington, is I would say people had them in the playoffs this year, but I just don't see it. No Michael Vick. It's gonna be Nick Foles on this one. I'll go with Washington, I guess, just for the simple fact that I just don't think. Although to be fair, Nick Foles, when he played last week against Dallas, he looked pretty good for the most part. I'll go with Washington on this one. I don't know why. I just think Washington, is more capable of, more capable of stopping people on defense. My personal opinion. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Carolina's coming off a loss, just a real nasty display against Denver last week, and Tampa Bay coming off a win over San Diego. Tampa Bay has been really impressive over the last couple of weeks, and offensively, I think they're starting to really find something. And at I believe they're 5-5. At 5-5, they're one of those teams that are on the bubble for a playoff spot. They're chasing Seattle. I expect them to win this football game and go over 500, and I expect them to really contend for that last wild card spot. Doug Martin being a key reason why the muscle hamster, although he doesn't like to be called that, but I mean he has really been the balance that they need for Josh Freeman in that passing attack. So yeah, I expect Tampa Bay to win the game, contend for a wild card spot, and as for Carolina, it's just one of those teams that will probably have a top 5 pick in the next April's draft. They need to get more help around Cam Newton. Can't do it all by himself. Jacksonville at Houston. Jacksonville coming off a loss. Houston, I believe, is coming off a much impressive win over Chicago last week. They proved that they don't just have to play inside a warm dome in Houston to get the job done. They can go on the road in wet conditions, nasty conditions, and get the job done. So I expect Houston to win this game pretty comfortably at home over Jacksonville. Some good water. New Orleans at Oakland. New Orleans coming off I wouldn't call it an upset win over Atlanta, but I mean they came off a much needed win over Atlanta last week. Oakland, what did they do last week? Doesn't matter because I'm taking New Orleans anyway. New Orleans, I think they can contend for a wild card spot. They have to play better defensively. Although over the last 2 weeks, they've been rushing the quarterback. They've been blitzing the quarterback with a lot of success. They did so 2 weeks ago against the not the Falcons, but the Eagles, blitzing Michael Vick, sacking him like 7 times. And then last week against Atlanta, they got after Matt Ryan quite a bit too. So if they can continue to get pressure on the QB, and of course that offense, about as good as it gets in the NFL with Drew Brees, they'll be right there to contend for that final wild card spot, along with Tampa Bay, along with Seattle, along with these other teams like Dallas, who's 4-5. Who else is close? And maybe Washington if they get hot, but whatever. I expect New Orleans to win this game right here pretty comfortably. San Diego at Denver. San Diego's coming off a loss. Denver's coming off a much impressive win over Carolina. I got Denver in this one by, I think, like maybe a touchdown or 2. Denver just looks so good right now. They have to be a contender in the AFC for a Super Bowl berth. Defensively, they're getting better. Which each passing game, and offensively the same as well. Obviously they still got things to improve on, but with Peyton Manning at the helm, I mean it just makes everybody better when Peyton Manning's on the field. So I'll go with Denver on this one. Indianapolis at New England. This is gonna be a good game right here. Indianapolis at New England. I didn't expect Andrew Luck to be this good. Statistically, he's not very good. Well, he's thrown 10 touchdowns, 10 picks, but just the way that he has gone about things and not making big, game-killing mistakes really has put the Colts in a position to where they can be a 5th seed or a 6th seed at worst in the AFC right now. And as far as New England, well, it's just the same old story. They actually came off a very close call against Buffalo last week. Defensively, they're still, I don't know, man, I don't know what their deal is defensively, but they're just not getting off the field when it counts. But I expect this to be a close game, a very good, competitive, close game throughout. I expect New England to win by a field goal, at the very most. So, Baltimore at Pittsburgh, Sunday night game. No Ben Roethlisberger, he's out with a shoulder. Baltimore, I expect Baltimore to win this game. It's going to be a physical, nasty, physical game, which always seems to be the case when these two teams get together. And it should be a lot of fun to watch, really. Watch these two teams go. I expect this to be like a 20-17 type score, something really physical, or something really like low scoring, sort of. And the last one, Monday Night Football game. Speaking of physicality, this one should be a doozy too. Chicago at San Francisco. Chicago coming off a nasty loss over Houston, against Houston, where they lost Jay Cutler with a concussion. It looks like he may not be ready to go. It may be Jason Campbell. And on the flip side for San Francisco, coming off a tie to St. Louis, Alex Smith suffers a concussion, so it may be what's his name? Colin Kaepernick, I think. I think that's who the backup is. Yeah, it is. Never mind. I remember now. So this game's gonna come down to which team has the better running game. I would like to think it would be Chicago in this case, but I just think something about San Francisco I really like. I don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is, but I would take San Francisco's defense over Chicago's defense. Although this is really one of those coin flip games where you can go either way as far as picking who you think is going to win. But I'm going to go with San Francisco. It will not surprise me if Chicago wins. I expect this to be low scoring. I expect this to be a hard-fought physical football game where I'm expecting somebody to get really hurt really badly. But those are my picks. Feel free to disagree if you want. I don't really care. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, Super EQ for life. Signing off. Peace.